Okay, we're go.
We're live?
I think so.
I hope we're live. I can't tell because I'm just looking at a picture of myself on a laptop. Hi, guys, and welcome to live broadcast. We're live from the Duncan Showroom. And before I go any farther, I want to thank Longevity John and the Duncan Showroom and Ted Cadillac, who is manning the board and looking after technical duties. Longevity John was kind enough to open the doors of the showroom and their multi-camera setup so that we could do this live stream and make up for the fact that I had to cancel my album release on Saturday. And some of you are still clicking in. I believe that we have a chat room set up that you can talk to Jennifer, who is looking after chat room duties. Welcome. I'm going to be playing the first side of my new album with this guitar, and this is my new Manzer, by the way, and my old Manzer, which is in the stand here. And we'll be talking with Terry David Mulligan, which I'm going to bring him in a second. But before I do that, there's a couple of people to thank, and I'll just get this out of the way briefly. But you know, it takes a village. Jennifer Johnson, who is my manager and my friend, and she has been working tirelessly alongside Kelly Nakatsuka. Kelly was the promoter for the show that never was at the Dave Done It, and basically, Kelly and Jennifer cooked up this idea for the live stream, and I'm most grateful to them both. Again, Longevity John in the Duncan Showroom, Ted Cadillac, who is looking after technical duties, and hopefully you're seeing me talking to you right now because of Ted. And the special guest, somebody I've known since I started my career when I was so green and wet behind the ears. He was very kind and interviewed me ages and ages ago for a Much Music segment. Let's bring him onto the split screen.
Can you tell how
There he is. Yes.
can you tell how excited I am?
I can. You're all pixelated, which is even better. Hopefully everybody can see this and everything's working great, and I'm just going to trust that it is. So, Terry, what are we going to do?
Well, here's the deal. First of all, I think you were doing your thank yous. I think maybe we should also thank the musicians and the artists who were going to join you Saturday night at the Dave Done It Theater in Oak Bay, and that was David Vest,
Yeah.
Gary Ulrich, and Richard Moody.
Yes.
I hope they're watching and appreciating this.
Yeah.
And no, go away. Sorry, it's Siri talking to me. I'll shut her up. So anyway, I was really looking forward to doing it in the theater, but this is an interesting exercise, and frankly, even today, Stephen, if you've had a chance to go online, everybody is finding a way to do music, to bring music to all of us who are in our bubbles.
Yeah.
And this is a great step out on your behalf, and I applaud everybody who had something to do with it, and I'm honored to be here.
Yeah, I was asked in an interview today why I was doing this, and at first I thought, well, because I like playing music. I mean, basically that's what it is. I think that we all want to play music. As Elvis Costello said, I get paid for traveling around in a box and sleeping in a box and shipping my guitars around the country in a box, but I play music for free, and that's really the gist of this.
Okay. By the way, to the audience out there, the audience, we have yet to come up with a title that tickles everybody. You suggested the viral hour. Love that.
I wanted to call it the social distant, the distant social viral hour. I wanted to call it, but I thought that was maybe a little too over the top.
A little wordy. Keep your distance is what I suggest. And if someone has a better idea, please let us know. So we're going to do side one.
Yeah.
And I think we should let the music ring. And it starts, of course, with "Break Our Mother's Heart."
Yeah.
Co-written with Tom Wilson.
Yes.
Should have been on the Blackie album, but when it wasn't chosen, you grabbed it like the nugget that it is.
Yes, you know me well. I mean, reuse, recycle. I'm never going to let a song like that go because the weird thing is sometimes you write with somebody like Tom, especially, and he's working on so many songs that they just if it doesn't get used, it's gone. It just goes back into the ether, and you think, what about that song we wrote together? What happened to it? Nothing happened to it. So, yeah, I'm not going to let a song like this go away. So,
One small point with two songwriters such as yourself, and you each have your own sort of songwriting ego because you need that. You need that going in. You have to make room for each, right? So, did one of you do the music and one did the lyrics, or where did you meet in the middle?
Um, honestly, I can't really remember who. I mean, it's usually a combination of both. I think I showed up at Tom's house a day or two early for the Blackie songwriting session that we did with Colin, where a lot of the tunes for the Blackie record were written, and he probably had the gist of this song, and I jumped in on it and contributed a verse, stuff like that. I can't honestly remember, but oftentimes I end up doing the sort of the right in the middle eight or the bridge, because a little known fact about Tom Wilson is that he's a great melody writer. Everybody sort of thinks that he's like the guy who goes, but he writes beautiful melodies. So he would have had, I think he had this progression or a version thereof, a little bit more knuckle fisted, but that was his.
I'll let you get out of the way, but just one more thing, and you just tweaked it. I did an interview with Tom after I talked to you about the album. He doesn't remember writing the song.
This is the great thing about writing with him, and this has happened before. There was a song on, I think it was on Kings and Kings, and when we went to record, I started playing the song, and he said, "Wow, that's beautiful. Did you do that?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I wrote that with you." And I could have had the whole thing and just kept my mouth shut, but there you go. So, Tim, let's go to your feed and I'll play a song.
All right.
Let me know when we're ready.
Okay, Break Our Mother's Heart. Left my hometown for salvation, came back banging on my drum, lighting fires to keep me warm, and blowing every chance the kingdom come. I got this chip up on my shoulder, diamond sharper than a knife. I picked it up to save my soul, and I put it down to save my life. It's holy, holy, do you remember? Tear the memories apart. We were younger than we knew, and we were born to break our mother's heart. Somewhere deep in the night, you can hear the trains go by. You can leave the ones you love, but you can't leave the past behind. It's holy, holy, do you remember? Tear the memories apart. We were younger than we knew, when we were born to break our mother's heart. you underneath my wing. Fly away into the blue and into every hymn that I can sing. And it's holy, holy, do you remember? Tear the memories apart. We were younger, younger than we knew. We were born to break our mother's heart. We were born to break our mother's heart. Do you want to kill those house lights there, Tim? So I'm not so blown out? Hey, thanks, man.
Okay, I'll do the same thing here. Listen, when you took those songs on the road, as you know, you're in a hermetically sealed studio and you record them, you carry them around in your heart, and then you take them out on the road. And you headed for Denmark, Holland, Germany, and England. How do they play to that audience of yours over there?
You know what's been really interesting? This whole album has the sort of the timeline from writing the songs to recording the songs, creating the artwork, and putting them out has been so truncated that it's been really kind of a wild thing to suddenly find myself on stage and performing them. And uniformly, I have found that the songs on this record, for whatever reason, seem to be connecting with people more easily or more quickly or something. And even with the language barrier, because that's something that I have to deal with, not so much in Holland and obviously not in the UK, but definitely in Germany and in Denmark, there's a real definite language barrier. And yet these songs seem to be connecting. So I guess it's going well.
Okay. And then Blackie and the Rodeo Kings, you did Ontario dates. What was it like to have to reinvent yourself and join your mates?
Well, it's wild. I mean, Blackie and the Rodeo Kings, if you've ever seen the Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers or any of those Arkham cartoons, there's often, I have this mental image of this pickup truck with big balloon tires coming over the hill with sort of fists and lightning bolts coming out of the back of the pickup truck and a big cloud of smoke. And that's what Blackie and the Rodeo Kings is like for me. It's this thing that comes for me, whether I like it or not, and I love it. And this was very much like that. I literally left the Danish band that I was working with in Europe. We played our last show in Eindhoven, and then I went to the airport and I flew to Toronto. And 24 hours later, the van pulls up outside the hotel, and this big hand reaches out and grabs me and pulls me in, and that's it. You know, I'm like, I'm gone, and it's just 25 years we've been playing together, and with all of that that it entails, and it is like falling off a bike.
One more thing, I want to ask you your comments about being on stage at the Ryman Theater in Nashville and being in that hallowed place, singing songs with your guys, and what you thought it was going to feel like, and what it felt like.
It's unbelievable. It is. I think as a Canadian musician, there's often a feeling of looking in from the outside.
Yeah.
You know, there's always this, like, this is where the music came from, be it Mississippi or whatever. There's often a feeling of being outside, and when you go to the Ryman, you just think, oh my God, this is the place, and it hasn't changed. I mean, the wooden pews are still there. It's just this beautiful time capsule. It's in beautiful shape. And it's a live, living, fully functional museum, and you can immediately transport yourself back. And of course, when you're in the dressing rooms or in the halls or any of the backstage area, there's photographs everywhere of Ernest Tubb and all the different characters that played there, Minnie Pearl, and you're right there. You know, it's a remarkable feeling to be on that stage.
Okay, if we're going to get to side one of our past, we better get on to Gold on the River. What do you want people to know about this tune?
Well, this whole album really stems from the title, the Unconquerable Past. And I actually had the title for the album before I had the title for the song or anything. I didn't have anything. I had little bits, and so many of the songs are informed by that title, the Unconquerable Past. And this song, Gold in the River, very much so. There's a point in your life, when I was young, and this is, I mean, I could be quoting a lyric of the song here, but when I was younger, I definitely had a feeling of wishing I could grow up quicker. There was a feeling that it was an older person's world, and I wanted to join them and kind of grow up faster and stop being an awkward teenage geek. And I've said that, but then there's a point where you suddenly think, "Holy shit! I'm now old," and I wonder, did time speed up? Like just that point where you suddenly flip from looking forward to not looking backward. I'm not talking about nostalgia, but being aware of the past behind you and the history behind you, and so that's what I'm trying to drill down into with this whole record. But with this song, I'm looking at that through the lens of a relationship. How is that?
Very cool.
Thank you. Thank you. So this is Gold on the River.
Well, I ran so fast for years, I thought the price was tears, and running was the key. I looked for love and comfort everywhere. I learned to stare, but I never learned to see. And I was playing some casino, and there you were, inside the spinning wheel of fortune, my rhinestone girl. When I was young and innocent, I mostly felt just awkward and naive, and I wanted to be older, with my coat slung on my shoulder, my heart on my sleeve. When I finally found the stillness in myself, started wondering just how many years were left upon the shelf. Time paints a lullaby with gold on the river till the rivers run dry. Time is a long goodbye. It's a taker and a giver. It's a slow dance, and we all want more time. Among the ruins, we made music out of all that history. We found joy as the summer waned and winter blew the leaves off of the trees. And we measured all the sweetness that we found against the bitter times of waiting till the good times come around. Time paints a lullaby with gold on the river till the rivers run dry. Time is a long goodbye. It's a taker and a giver. It's a slow dance, and we all want more time. Heaven is a feeling, is a peaceful Sunday morning cup of tea. It's my shelter from the storm when I know the storm is waiting for me. When I'm far away and down to the bone, trying to sing my way to heaven, trying to get back home. Time years run right. Time is a long goodbye. It's a taker and a giver. It's a slow dance. We all want more time.
Questions that I want to ask you about.
A lot.
Randy Newman at the Commodore Ball.
Piano there.
Is someone else
Are you getting that
playing our
echo?
piano on the street?
I'm hearing you there. Terry.
Run out and
Like
tell
I
him
lost
stop.
your feed there. You're upside down and delays going. Okay, so I think Terry's been hijacked by a squirrel. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but well, we wondered if this was going to happen. We are dealing with digital technology after all. I think Terry's going to try and probably patch his way back in, but in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a song called "Stay With Me," which is obviously it's track number 3, side A, if there is even sides anymore. But track number oh, there he is. He's back. Okay.
I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that.
Well, when you watch the rebroadcast of this, you're going to watch that section, and it's going to make you laugh because it was like you were fighting off something really big.
Let me run a couple of things by you. One is I finally had a chance to interview Randy Newman, one of my all-time favorite writers, and I'm sure you would appreciate him. He told me two things that maybe apply to you here. One is he plays a game with himself that if he's given a project, an album or a score or something to do, he will wait until the last possible moment and then put himself in a corner and force himself to write the songs like at the last minute. And for him, it works. And the other thing was, maybe your writing might apply to that. And the other thing was, I said, if you came to the Commodore, you've come with a piano. You could have strings. You could have a band. You could have musicians all over the place. He said, I want to shorten the space between myself and the audience. And I'm looking at you as a solo artist, and I'm thinking, this is just you and your strings, and the audience. It's really cool.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I love playing in a band. I love playing in Blackie and the Rodeo Kings. I love especially Blackie and the Rodeo Kings. It's like it really is like being in a gang, which is a lot of fun. I got to work with this group from Denmark called the Sentimentals, and they're a trio: bass, drums, and guitar. And then with me, we're a quartet. And it's a really different experience again because we're playing this material or stuff off Every Soul's a Sailor, and it's just a little more widescreen. It's a little bit more lush. Having the motor of a rhythm section is well, it's great. It's something that you can kind of lean back on. But the experience of just one guitar, one voice, and an audience is so direct and intimate. It's pretty hard to replicate it. I really do love it. I love the nakedness of it.
But how do you like this nakedness?
Well, honestly, there's you, and I have no idea if there's anybody else.
Yeah, I know.
I did this once before where I did this thing called Roots on the Wire, where it was just me and a couple of USB cameras. And I would go for 2 hours, and I would have no idea that anybody was watching it until I went home that night and looked at the chat room stuff. And then it was like I could see that there was all these people listening, and they were commenting. There was a group of people in Ontario they had a drinking game. Every time I tuned my guitar, they would drink. So by the end of it, they were like.
By the way, speaking of drinking games, I saw Tip Jar go by. What's Tip Jar?
Oh. I haven't seen that yet. I think that's a link that we have set up. That is a PayPal link. So, as you know, there are tens of dollars to be made in this business, but in the live stream world, it's even less. So, the whole point of this was not commercial at all, and I really want to stress that. It was all about, hey, let's put on a show. The Duncan showroom here said, look, we've got a dark stage. We've got 5 cameras set up. There's this wonderful tech named Ted Cadillac who's just raring to go. Come on over and we'll do a show. And then it was like, well, okay, let's do that. Now, can we raise a little bit of money? Because I could use it, and I know that Ted Cadillac could. And the Duncan showroom, who haven't got any performers in here for the foreseeable future month at least, we could all use a bit of dough. So that's what the tip jar is. If you're digging this, if you're really thinking, wow, the banter between that wacky Terry David Mulligan and Stephen Fearing in this polka dot shirt, I just want to throw some money at that. We'll go right ahead. And if you don't, or if you're laid off and that's why you're watching this instead of Netflix, because we're all in the same boat here, don't worry about it. That's not the point. It's that we can interact. And I wish I could see what people were saying to each other, but I'll go and look at it later.
I do. I have a quick question because we're going to get to your next tune. And that is, this came from Jeffrey. It said, do you think we're entering the new age of the gum and strum with this show? The gum and strum.
Gum and strum. Well, I also thought the gum and strum was like the meet and greet before the show.
Yeah.
So that I don't know. I mean, I like this. It's pretty cool that we can do this. And if there are, in fact, anybody else out there apart from Jeffrey, then wow, that's amazing. But you can't beat you just can't beat that feeling when you're on stage and you're singing and you can watch your spit fly through the arc lights into the crowd. Like, you can't beat that. You just can't.
You can't spit. That's nasty. That was Ian Gifford, by the way.
Ian Gifford, right? Mr. Giffy. I know you. Yeah. Welcome.
Here's the tune that I've been playing a lot on Mulligan's new CKUA radio, Saturday night, 7 o'clock on 5 to 7 on CKUA. Stay With Me is by AC. I love the tune. It's great. It's honest. I don't know how you conceived of it, but I applaud you.
Well, thanks. Can I tell you a little bit about it? I mean, I hope people are digging the chit chat, but if you want to know the truth behind the song, I was listening. I wrote most of these songs at my in-laws, Judy and Angus, who may be watching this, and if they are, bless your hearts for letting me use your flat to write these songs, your apartment. I was sitting up on the 5th floor watching, the traffic and the day go by outside the window, and I'm listening repeatedly to Stand By Me. When the night is, like, I love that song. It's a perfect song. It's so compact and dense, and it gets to the point, and it's beautifully sung, and it's just it's gorgeous. So I was
that Lieber Stoller?
Benny King.
Benny King.
I was doing Tom Wilson, which is, I love a song. How can I write it? Basically, that's one of Tom Wilson's things. If you love a song, then try and write that song. And so I was kind of getting under the hood, and clearly I missed the mark by a country mile because it's a completely different song. What ended up happening was I started kind of going back to my punk rock roots. Believe it or not, I grew up as a teenager in the late 70s, and I spent a lot of time, like all of the people my generation, going to punk rock clubs, little sweaty clubs in Dublin, seeing bands like the Virgin Prunes and a band called The Hype, who used to be called Feedback, who became a band called U2, and just kind of immersing myself in that. I knew I was never really going to play that because I didn't have enough I was much too introverted to pogo around and gob on people, and I was interested in the acoustic guitar, which was like so uncool. But some of that stuff crept in. So stay with me. Let's play it.
Stay with me. The water is so wide, and we're sailing over dark and hollow times. Stay with me, the two of us inside, in the melody, and the rhythm, and the rhyme. And when the night is screaming in the street outside, and the wind blows up on a full moon tide, and the levee breaks, and the lightning splits the tree, and a stranger's curse virus really gets to you, and the ones you love become strangers too. And if you were drowning, you could count on me. So stay with me. The water is so wide, and we're sailing over dark and hollow time. Stay with me, the two of us inside, in the melody and the rhythm and the rhyme. Your soul is aching from what someone said, and a heavy heart wrestles a heavy head. You've been looking through the looking glass darkly, and the world is too much with you, and the red hand harvests a bitter root. And if you were drowning, you could count on me. So stay with me. The water is so wide, and we're sailing over dark and hollow time. Stay with me, or the two of us inside, in the melody and the rhythm and the rhyme. In the melody and the rhythm and the rhyme. In the melody. Wow, it's sure interesting to do this in this context. Normally I play standing up, so there's a bit more kind of running around, but yeah.
From the screen, by the way, he's Stephen Fearing. I'm Terry David Mulligan. This
Yeah,
is
bring the lights down there, Tim.
what we're calling Keep Your Distance and the Viral Hour, or stuff like that. There's a nice comment, by the way, from Robin and Ann Poldma.
Nice. Hey, Robin. Hi, Ann. Lovely to have you here.
It says, not isolated now at all.
Oh, nice.
About that, man.
Yeah.
And then someone, let me see, from Colleen Dulce. Stephen, oh, this could take forever. See if you can limit yourself to 20 seconds. Tell us about your new guitar.
Oh, there you go. Okay, yeah, that could. Okay, so this one right here, which you can sort of see it. It kind of, the camera is sort of doing justice to some of these marks. If I show you the back, it's a little bit more. That's 30 years. That's 30 years of me. I got this guitar from Linda Manzer, who lives in Toronto and has built guitars. I think at this point, she's built 25 guitars for Pat Metheny. Her first guitar she built for, it doesn't matter. Linda's built for everybody. She's one of our preeminent guitar makers, and she's a group of 7 builders who came out of Jean Larravet's factory when it was still in Victoria in the 70s. So she studied alongside or apprenticed alongside David Wren and Grit Laskin and some of the really great Canadian builders. And Linda she's a rock star. She builds carved arch tops and guitars like this for Bruce Cockburn and Susan Crowe and Connie Calder and you name it.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me those 20 seconds of your time.
Yeah, and this one is brand new. And so when Air Canada lost this beautiful 30-year-old guitar many years ago for 4 days, which was terrifying, Linda quietly started making my new guitar. And there is a long story that goes with it, but I'm going to leave it right there.
Thank you so much. He's Stephen Fearing, and you want to get your hands on this album, The Unconquerable Past. We have 2 more tunes for you.
Yeah.
Marie.
Yes.
Which is about a woman. It's a conversation between you and a fictional woman. And I love the fact that you told me in an interview that you are still amazed that women still want to talk to men, white men.
Yeah. It's a flippant thing to say, but I have been introducing this song as post-Twitter because I think that there's something that has happened with Twitter. It's a combination of the anonymity of, the screen and the ability to broadcast to the world has given people this freedom to speak in their inside voice. And all of the good and bad that goes with this. And so I think sometime around 2016, when the U.S. elected Donald Trump, there was this sort of opening of a portal into people started saying stuff that they previously, I don't know if maybe I just wasn't listening or I don't go in those circles, but I just started hearing things from people that I'd never heard before. Openly racist, openly sexist, all of those things. It was like, I don't care anymore. I'm just going to say it, and I'm hiding behind my little avatar and my screen name, and you don't know who I am, and here it is. This is what I think. And I noticed in particular that women were bearing the brunt. And if there was a political conversation going on, as there has been pretty much constantly since 2016, and a woman weighed in, these people would sort of all pile on, and the trolls would come out from under the bridge and rattle their rusty old swords. Anyway, I really was thinking about that when I was writing this song. This sense of me, or the fictitious songwriter speaking to this fictitious woman, Marie. I started with the guitar riff. I had the name Marie going around in my head, and really the song just grew out of that. Is very much an organic, as they often are.
Riff away, Stephen. Riff away.
She said, brace yourself for the shit show coming down tomorrow. As I believe it's all gonna look a whole lot different than it does today. Remember all that time we begged and we stole and we borrowed. Well, the fix is in and the piper's getting paid. And fuck those greedy liars, midnight riders with the power and the glory. Their tinfoil hat religion and their dark conspiracies. The brown shirts are back and the boys are hanging out with the Tories. And while one sad plastic planet floating out to sea, all the tears we've cried, all the sorrow and the need, hold on to my hand, don't let go of it, don't let go of me, Marie. How strange we are, how magnificently broken. You know, even a busted clock can tell the time twice a day. Even if every one of us was lying there, overcome and choking. Well, I wonder, would we argue the last gasp of this precious life away? All the tears we've cried, the sorrow and the need. Hold on to my hand, don't let go of it, don't let go of me, Marie. All the tears we've cried, all the sorrow and the need. Hold on to my hand, don't let go of me, don't let go of us, Marie.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you so much.
he's Stephen Fearing. I'm Terry David Mulligan, and this is the Keep Your Distance Viral Hour. Um, Stephen, people are streaming in from all over Canada.
Beautiful.
Um,
Welcome, y'all.
listen,
Sorry, I just need to grab my capo. I'm useless without it.
Victoria, Ottawa, Montreal, Calgary, Saskatoon, and Coombs.
Coombs. Right on. I haven't been there for a long time. Hey, there might be a gig there. Give me a call when the lights come back.
And a whole bunch of people from Ontario, where it's coming up to 11 o'clock.
Yeah, bless your hearts.
And it's not Hockey Night in Canada. By the way, if you were streaming or just checking out the internet today, there were musicians of all stripe were playing to cameras
Yeah.
in their home studios or just their front room, whatever. We're going to see a lot of this. I love this idea. I love the idea of the Duncan showroom, and you do it. By the way, we are going to do side 2 of the Unconquerable Past Sunday at 4 o'clock Pacific in the Duncan showroom. Are you available?
Oh, I'll be here. I'll for sure. In fact, I'm not leaving. I'm just going to camp out on the stage here, and John's gone out and bought some baked beans, so I'll be just sleeping here, getting ready for that show. So yeah, I'll be here for sure.
Okay, a couple of people. I should mention Tim Meeks is watching in Seattle.
Oh, welcome.
Which he can do. And there are two families that I know are trying to get out of Mexico tomorrow and the next day and get home to Canada. The Beecrofts are somewhere in Mexico, and Kate and Pete and Finley Havercroft from Victoria are trying to catch the last flight out.
Wow.
On the last 3 seats out.
Oh wow.
So they're Mulligans. They're Havercroft Mulligans, and we're trying to get them home. So they're watching. Okay.
Oh wow. Yeah, I've got family down there as well, and there's the Williams clan are trying to make their way back up to Nova Scotia. It's crazy times.
We have. By the
I
way,
hope everybody makes it safe. What can I say?
People
Come
are streaming.
home.
People are streaming from New Orleans and Detroit as well. But actually, it's wonderful to do this.
Yeah.
I have one more song that I have written down, of course, which ends side 1 of the final.
Yeah.
Someone Else's Shoes.
Yeah, someone else's shoes. It's I'm always reluctant to sort of find themes on a record, but definitely time is obviously the Unconquerable Past. That's the theme. But the close second is something that Marie definitely touches on, perhaps from a different angle than this one. But empathy. It's again the whole thing with Twitter. If you don't believe in community, then just wait until something like a virus goes around the world, and then find out in a real quick instant what community actually means and what has been lacking, in my humble opinion, up until about 2 weeks ago or a week ago, maybe even less. What has it been, 5 days, 6 days since the shit really hit the fan? Is the sense of community and empathy. And it's so easy to just exist in your little echo chamber until something like this happens. And I'm talking to a very, very dear friend of mine who's down in on my way up to Duncan. I was talking to her on the phone. She lives in Austin, and just how everybody's turning to their government now and going, what do we do? Like, I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to lose my business. I'm going to, like, what do we do? And there's sort of the paranoia about socialism, the paranoia about the government helping out. That's community to me. That is a sense of, to me, it's about empathy. It's about caring enough, or at least understanding enough, that even though your neighbor may be different than you, somehow take your pick of how that difference could manifest itself, that you still understand that basically, it's a person. And that's completely what this song is about. Before I play this, I want to just give a shout out to my friends in Winnipeg, where I recorded this album: Scott Nolan, Christian Dugas, Jamie Sitar, all of the people that played on this record, Andrina Turin. It was an amazing experience to be in Scott Nolan's little song shop studio, which is where William Prince's last 2 records were mostly created. And Scott is a bit of a magical, mystical guy, and he welcomed me in, and he let me kind of run around in his studio and call shots, and at the same time he quietly went around behind me and set the scene. It was almost like he laid the table, and then we cooked the meal together. And I'm so grateful to him. And so much of these songs, even though I'd written them before I got there, in side 2 ends with one of Scott's songs. So I'll talk about it more when we get to side 2 on Sunday. But I can't really go any farther without saying Scott Nolan. So yeah, someone else's shoes.
Nurse.
Oh yeah.
Going back to work at 11 o'clock tonight. This is for her.
Oh, bless your heart, Mary.
Outside the world is crying, breaks my heart in two. No one is an island, better walk in someone else's shoes. 'Cause we don't really see each other, we don't even trust the truth. Is the old divide and conquer, eye for an eye and tooth for tooth. Heaven help the privileged ones who never felt the blues. 'Cause you won't find the road to love till you walk in someone else's shoes. Walk in someone else's shoes. Heaven help the privileged ones who never felt the blues. 'Cause you won't find the road to love till you walk in someone else's shoes. Walk in someone else's shoes. Walk in someone else's shoes. Thank you.
I just got what you can't see this. You can't see outside, but the sun has just gone down.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
fantastic night out there, and your music is
Thank
in the News Bay. I got a note from my friend Corey Wood who said, "Can you sit up a bit? You're looking a little short." He's talking to me, not
Who was saying that?
my friend Corey Wood.
Okay.
No, it's not you. It's me.
Okay.
So we've come to the point in our hour together.
Yeah.
We've done what we said we came to
You
do,
sure have.
and we still have about 8 minutes left. There's lots we can talk about, but we should also maybe go two falls out of three about what the last song could be. My suggestions were either your favorite Blackie and the Rodeo Kings song that you wrote,
Yeah.
or Blowhard,
I'm gonna play one of those guys' songs. Forget that.
yeah, or Blowhard Nation.
Well, do you want to just do a quick look and see what do the folks want to hear? Because I'm game for either.
Okay, who's up for this?
Yeah, Blowhard Nation or a Blackie and the Rodeo Kings, Stephen Fearing,
Or your favorite Stephen Fearing
my
song?
favorite Stephen Fearing Blackie tune. Which, oh God, I don't know.
What would you mention? Tip jar again, please.
Oh yeah, sure. How timely. Yeah. Hey, you want to throw a little coin into the bucket? We here at the Duncan Showroom. By the way, if you've never been to the Duncan Showroom, it really is quite a spectacular spot. It's full of Longevity John's collection of matching salt shakers and ephemera from around the world. It's quite spectacular. But more than anything, it is a place where live music has been happening in a very intimate space. For a long, long time. I've played here solo. I played here with Blackie and the Rodeo Kings. I played here with Andy White. And it has all sorts of memories for me. My dear friend, and the reason I met Longevity John was because of the late great Willie P. Bennett, which is kind of angling me towards a Blackie and the Rodeo Kings song. I think I'm a Blackie and the Rodeo Kings song.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, don't feel shy about the tip jar, as Tom Wilson would say. Don't let fear hold you back. And if you're thinking, man, oh man, I love those new tunes, and you want to get one, we have them through StephenFearing.com. Vinyl, limited edition vinyl, not just plain old black vinyl, but either of those. CD, and we can send you a streaming link if you want, or a download link if you want to go that route too. So there's a whole bunch of formats.
But I, as a fan, could I buy that shirt or a copy of that shirt?
You know what? I've considered that, but no.
On this merch.
Maybe when it's faded and so worn out that I can't wear it on stage anymore, which is a while to go. I've been wearing this one for 5 years now, and that's a lot of perspiration right there. So listen, Terry, I'm gonna play this song and then I'm gonna shut her down. But thanks. I've been talking to you for 30 years. I'm out of tune. There's no excuse. Okay, so this tune is called Black Sheep. Okay, we're going to try it one more time without the tuner in so that you can actually hear me. He said, baby, I'm done, and he pushed back his blade. The sky was as dark as the hour was late. I took the fight with only the hot with the cold, but I'm hungry for love. Love, I'm hungry for love. I'll go down by the river where the silver moon shines. I'll read my reflection like the book of my mind. 'Cause I've been dreaming of rainbows and rumors of gold. I've been dreaming of love. Love, I've been dreaming of love. I'll sing for you now as I'm going away. You can hold to what's broken the rest of your day, or let go of the vow you haven't to hold. I went to my neighbor to show him my heart. Oh, I knew it was over before I could start. 'Cause there's friends of the heart and there's friends of the road in the passing of love. Love, in the passing of love. Love. All the tears that I spun at the end of the day. Walk a mile in my shoes, a life in my soul. And the woods are alive with the murmur of spring. The snow melts away and the creeks start to sing. When the shepherd's asleep, the black sheep leaves the fold, gone looking for love. Love, looking for love. Love.
Hey, there we are. Yeah, there's my hairy brothers. This is our 25th anniversary this year. God love us.
When is it? When do just while we're at that juncture? Thank you for that song.
You're
When
welcome.
does it start? If it starts at all?
Well, there's going to be some summer dates, festivals, and the like. But really, the King of This Town tour, the 25th anniversary of Blackie and the Rodeo Kings tour, starts in October, and we will be here on the island playing shows, and then we work our way west. There'll be a Vancouver show, probably a couple of interior shows, and then we end up going through Manitoba, Saskatchewan, all the way up to Toronto, blah, blah, blah.
We are going to do side 2 of the album, The Unconquerable Past, Sunday, 4 o'clock, right here, same shirt, same time.
Yeah, I might have a different shirt, but yeah, definitely we'll be back. And thanks so much. And for those of you who have taken the time to listen, thank you so much. I got nothing more to say. I'm done. I'll see you on Sunday. Terry, thanks so much.
Everybody, thank you.
Okay, we're out. We're out.